Hello everyone, welcome back to another anime review. Like my shirt, it's Demon Slayer, but here we go. So, Soul Eater 9 is the anime review that we are doing today. Soul Eater not I have an issue with, mainly because of the fact that the main characters, which is the three characters that are focal point, you got a girl who doesn't know who wants to be she doesn't want to pick a maestro, so she picks two people instead of the very end of the anime. But she's also conflicted on whether or not she wants to go back home and live a normal life. Because she was a normal girl before she turns into a weapon and she has to transfer to schools into the Death Academy. I'm going to call it the Death Academy because I don't know what the fuck it's called because I keep forgetting. So that's the main gist of her character. She meets two of her friends, which become her maestros. One girl forgets a lot of stuff, but that's because she's getting manipulated by a witch, which they handily defeat with one fucking move because it's an anime and only has 12 episodes, so it kind of figures much. And then you got the girl who acts like a fucking princess and this, that, and the other thing. So, the main gist of the princess is the fact that she thinks that she's all top. She has an egocentric type of way. She has issues. I mean, she wants to become friends with everyone, but she also wants to see what commoners, because she is a princess after all. So that's the main gist of her thing. Now, when it comes to the main trio of Soul Eater Not, the main problem is the fact that the character development is scattered all over the place. Most of the character development are the side characters, which I've never had that issue before because the first 7 episodes is a girl who's a witch, so to speak. She has pink hair and she has issues talking to other people. I think she's in Soul Eater. I'm not too sure. I haven't watched Soul Eater in like awfully a long time, so I think I watched Soul Eater in 2011 or something like that, but it's been a long time, so I'm not too sure. But girl with the pink hair, she's a witch, and the only girl who knows that she's a witch, she becomes her partner, and after they can reconcile, it's pretty much, so to speak. Her gimmick is the fact that in the beginning of the anime, she likes to take away money from other people by giving her in missions and by giving them advice or making them do chores and stuff. And when they help her out, she gets most of the money because she's a bitch. So that's the main gist of it. Now, when it comes to the side characters are as follows. You got your two goons who are bodyguards, pretty much. And then you got Sid. Now, Sid was in the original Soul Eater, but they explain why he's a zombie. Because when Sid gets first introduced in Soul Eater, he's a zombie. And Soul Eater now explains why he's a zombie is because Dr. Stein turned him into a zombie because Sid was already dead. So that's why he turned himself into a zombie in the beginning part. Continuity is in this anime. So there's that one. Maka is in here, sound with Soul. They're just as adorable as ever. And they actually have a fight scene. Two fight scenes, in fact. One of them was they were fighting a girl who looks like a nun. And she slits her fucking throat because she's getting manipulated by a ring that she bought because she's an idiot. And they wind up saving her because of Dr. Stein. And then the second character that she fights is a small snippet, but she fights Black Star at some point. But that was not major to fight because the main plot comes in and ruins the fight. So that has nothing to do with it. Now, as for the three main characters of Soul Eater, Maka shows up the most with Soul to give our main characters in Soul Eater not more advice on whether or not to do stuff. But the problem is though is the fact that she says the most weird lines, like go with the flow. Like how the fuck is she supposed to learn if you say that? That makes no fucking sense. So that's that problem. Soul is pretty much, a jackass. So that's the same thing. By the way, this series Soul Eater not comes before the original Soul Eater starts. So I just want to be clarified on that. So Mako and Soul pretty much are the most people, and then they do have a couple fights. Black Star on the other hand only shows up once in the beginning of he only shows up in the first episode with one line because he's an egocentric jackass. And then he shows up in the last 2 episodes fighting a bunch of people. And he doesn't really have that many lines. I mean, out of the three main characters, Mako, Death the Kid, and Black Star, Mako probably has the most lines out of all three of them. Because they mainly want to focus on the other three characters. Now, Black Star, like I said before. Now, Dr. Kid only shows up in 2 episodes. The last episode in episode 7. And he's just a perfectionist asshole like he always is in Soul Eater. Now, my main problem with this anime is the main 3. If you compare this to the main 3 of Soul Eater, the original Soul Eater, which is Death the Kid, Mako, and Black Star, the 3 main characters' personalities are completely bland and pretty simple, to be honest with you. I mean, Black Star is a powerhouse, and he can also do a lot of shit, but he's also egocentric, and that's what I like about Black Star. Black Star is probably like my favorite character in the whole Soul Eater series because he's fucking funny because he's so egocentric. It's fucking funny, man. After and when he gets beaten, he still thinks he's better than everyone. That's what I like about Black Star. Then Death the Kid's a perfectionist asshole. He has to have everything the same length, same everything. And that's the main thing I like about it. Mako's Mako. She's the main protagonist in Soul Eater, so I won't get into that. But their personality traits are completely different from the personality traits of the 3 main characters of this anime. Now, it does give you... Death the Kid has 2 partners in the original Soul Eater, which is the 2 guns. They do a little bit backstory of them because in Soul Eater Not, they're on probation, and they actually pick a fight with the main cast of Soul Eater Not. And one of the main character tries to open up with them because they want to learn from him, and that's the main gist of their personality traits. At the end of the end, they become Death the Kid's partners because Death the Kid's a perfectionist asshole and he likes centrometric. I love Death the Kid in the original Soul Eater, but this anime is not Soul Eater, it's Soul Eater Not, and there's not a lot of hand-to-hand combat. I mean, there's combat here and there, but it's pretty much, so to speak, they're in the dorm, they're talking to each other and getting to know the characters. That's not why I want an action anime that's called Soul Eater Not. I mean, if it's called Soul Eater, you should have at least some action. There is some action, but the original Soul Eater has more action than this anime, and that's saying a hell of a lot. Even though the original Soul Eater has 51 episodes, and this only has 12 episodes. I also think that episode 8 through episode 12 is scattered all over the place, because they just throw a lot of information with the main cast of Trio, the main cast of the main characters, thrown at you like a dartboard, and that's my main other issue. The music, the theme song, it doesn't beat the original Soul Eater or the second opening of Soul Eater, because I think those 2 are bopping out. If you ever want to listen to the opening of Soul Eater, openings, the Soul Eater of opening 1 and opening 2, you should do that. It's fucking ballin', and I know the words word for word in Japanese because I've listened to it too many fucking times. This one, however, has issues, so to speak. I'm gonna give this anime a 5 out of 10. Now it's like, it's a really good thing, and the only other character that actually made me laugh is Dr. Stein, but Dr. Stein doesn't really show up until like the second half of the anime, so it's like, what the hell. The soundtrack's kind of hit miss pretty much. The animation is crisp because it was in the late 2000s or 2010s. I forget when this anime was revealed, but I'm giving this a 5 out of 10. It's average. It's not like it's gonna wow you. There are some shock moments that the girl is slitting her own throat just to commit suicide, even though she you can't really kill yourself because of Dr. Stein, because if you kill yourself, Dr. Stein could just turn you into a fucking zombie because he's a dumbass. That's what he did with Sid when he got killed the first time. So I think the Soul Eater Not gets a 5 out of 10 for me. I did not enjoy it. Now, before we end this anime review, I'd like to say this. We have a recommendation before we get into Fruit Basket. So the next anime review is another magical girl anime, which I know we've already done Wedding Peach that had 55 fucking episodes. But the next anime review is a magical girl anime, and someone in the comment section told me to watch it, so I'm going to review it next. Hope you guys have a nice positive day and take care. After that, we're going to go Fruit Basket, then the other 2 animes that I was going to finish before the end of the summer. So stay positive. Hope you guys have a nice positive day, okay? Okay. Oh yeah, I also got this shirt. I like it. It's awesome, so stay positive. It's just Demon Slayer, by the way. I will get to Demon Slayer once it's done.